Thousands of students nationwide were part of walkouts protesting ICE today. Students in Arkansas were among those, including two rival schools in Fort Smith, joining together for a combined walkout. 5 News reporter Laura Castleman was there and has details.
Around noon Friday, students walked out of Northside and Southside High School to protest ICE and immigration enforcement.
We speak on our mind and we're not afraid to show our mind, and everybody's out here showing love. There's no hate.
Students from both schools marched to the corner of Old Greenwood Road and Gary Street.
I was sent a message that Northside students walked over to Southside High School, and at the time that they were outside.
I was the first one walking out. Nobody wanted to walk out with me.
Officials from Fort Smith Public Schools tells 5 News as a precaution, both schools went into a code yellow lockdown, meaning students could leave, just not enter the building. It was a safety measure to keep those who were unauthorized out of the building. Even family members of students showed up alongside their children.
And at 15 years old, I believe that she's entitled to an opinion, and I'm very proud that she is speaking up and doing this.
Fort Smith police were a constant presence during the demonstration, and late Friday the department said that there were no incidents and the protests were peaceful.
They're just here, I think, presenting a presence to keep things calm. This has not been a violent protest in any way.
Bringing a rivalry to a halt for a bigger cause.
Today, we're here, we're all together, all love, we're spreading love.
In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Laura Castleman, 5 News.
Today's actions were part of a wave of demonstrations that we have seen around the country. The Access Act, passed last year, prevents Arkansas schools from excusing absences for political causes. It passed with Republican support and Democrat opposition. Democratic State Senator Fred Love, who is running for governor, argues the law limits students' ability to exercise the First Amendment.
Kids are looking at what's happening in Minneapolis. They're looking at what's happening with ICE raids, and they're saying that it's not right. And so they have a constitutional right to speak out. I mean, these are their family members. These are their classmates. These are students that are in schools, and their families are being impacted.
While participating students are facing unexcused absences, many are still choosing to stand up for their beliefs and what they think is correct. A new rule bars registered Democrats from voting in Arkansas Republican primary elections. Last year, the Republican Party changed a rule that says registered Democrats would not be eligible to receive a Republican ballot during the primary this year. While it is a party-centered focus, there is no legislative change to changing party affiliation, meaning those who are not registered as a Republican can still request a Republican ballot for the primary by filling out a new voter registration.
What we do think, though, is it will impact a small number of voters who aren't aware of the rule change, weren't aware that they were registered Democrat, or for this election are deciding that they want a Republican ballot. But rest assured to the voters, we have a process in place, and ultimately voters get the ballot of their choice.
With a new voter registration, the Election Commission says you don't need to register as a Republican to get a ballot. New at 10 tonight, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt gave his final State of the State, which included him speaking out against medical marijuana and asking lawmakers now to send it back to a vote of the people to shut it down. Chloe Abbott has more on what one dispensary owner is saying in response.
Alan Solomon opened Okie Wonderland on East Admiral in Catoosa 6 years ago. It became his first of his 18 dispensaries.
We try to just make sure we understand everyone's needs first, and then we try to show them the right product and the right path.
Solomon says he was surprised when he heard Governor Kevin Stitt talk about medical marijuana during his speech.
One of the greatest threats to public safety is the out-of-control marijuana industry.
A lot of people are doing stuff the right way, following every rule that OMA and OBN has, making sure that all of our employees are credentialed, running background checks, paying our Secretary of State payments, paying our Oklahoma tax payments.
Stitt asked lawmakers to let people re-vote on the legalization of medical marijuana in hopes of getting rid of it after it was legalized in 2018.
These storefronts hide an industry that enables cartel activity human trafficking, and foreign influence in our state.
Solomon says illegal grows don't affect dispensaries, and taking medical marijuana away would create more illegal activity.
They're not just going to stop smoking all of a sudden, you know. They're going to start buying it from their neighborhood dealer or whoever it may be, and then they're really not going to get any tax money.
OBN has shut down more than 7,000 illegal farms and seized more than 2 million illegal marijuana plants in the last 4 years.
Federal funding cuts have led to the closure of several senior centers in Benton County. Now, Our Healthy Communities, which delivers meals to seniors, has ended its contract last month. Our Healthy Community says it's only temporary as they work to secure funding and hire staff to reopen these facilities. 5 News spoke with some seniors who have been affected by these cuts.
I don't know how they would really manage as well if they didn't have it. Plus, we don't have to cook.
And when you're just cooking for one, that's hard. So.
For those affected, the Springdale Senior Center, operated by the city, says it will gladly open its doors to any seniors affected by those that have been closed in Benton County. AAA reportedly helped 2,600 drivers during the last week of January. Because of the winter weather, the heavy snow, the ice, and freezing temperatures, it resulted in a 35% increase in call volume compared to previous winter weekly averages. Battery service, towing, and extractions were the top reasons drivers called into AAA's emergency roadside service. AAA's Foundation for Traffic Safety says winter storms and slick road conditions are a big factor in more than 2,000 road deaths every year. Springdale firefighters trying to figure out how an early morning house fire got started. The department shared some images on social media. You can see the smoke and flames in the night sky from this morning. Captain Justin Pinkley says firefighters were called to the home on Overo Circle around 5:30. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. It is believed it's an accidental fire, but how it got started is still under investigation. On this Wear Red Day, we are sharing an update on a Northwest Arkansas girl whose medical journey has caught the attention of a lot of people. 19-year-old Mackenzie Madry survived bone cancer, end-stage heart failure, and a heart transplant all before she graduated high school. Madry says that through her experience, she wants to raise awareness for cardiovascular disease, which is the #1 killer of women.
There's a really lack of research in women's health, and it's really important that we even the playing field. Every time you see something, it's always this older gentleman, and that's not always the demographic, as you can see. But it's really important that you also listen to your bodies, because you know when something's wrong, and it's good that you get it seen quickly.
Inspired by her experience, Mackenzie is now a pre-nursing student at Northwest Arkansas Community College with plans to apply to the nursing program this fall. Main Street Fort Smith hosting its 2026 Mini Grant Program Awards this morning. $16,000 in grants were handed out to 8 downtown improvement projects. The grants were given to business and property owners downtown for an opportunity for them to improvements to be made to the exterior of their buildings, focusing on safety, historical preservation, and beautification within the district.
You know, I really see this mini grant as small increment change, right? We have one of the largest historical commercial districts in the state, so it takes a lot of work, really block by block, to fill up these buildings, to really see multi-use within the buildings, and we have a lot of great momentum happening right now, and this is just another way that Main Street Fort Smith can assist the property and business owners and the district as a whole to really see that important but small incremental change.
8 businesses were given anywhere from $500 to $7,500 for work to be done on those buildings. University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences has chosen its next chancellor. Board of Trustees at the University of Arkansas has approved Dr. C. Lowry Barnes for that role. Dr. Barnes right now serves as a professor and chair of the Department of Orthopedic Surgery. He is also the founding director of the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital. He's been serving as interim chancellor for the state's only academic health sciences center since July.